Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are all doing really well. In today's video, I'm going to share with you our predicted budget for Europe 2022. So if you've been following me over on the vlogs, you may have noticed that I am actually going to Europe in less than 4 days. Literally so excited. I'm going with Ravi and I thought I would just create a video in terms of the budget, what we're thinking of, potentially spending. We have paid for flights, we have paid for accommodation and internal transfers as well. So I thought I'd just take you guys through the costings for that and also just a prediction of what we might spend for food every day, for activities and for shopping as well. So if you are interested, then please keep watching. Now, if you're headed to Europe, you may know the struggle of Heathrow International Airport, which is based in London. That's where a lot of the international flights are coming from and it's super crowded. So if you're thinking of traveling to Europe, you may want to consider the cost involved. Also, in terms of the initial flights that we paid for, we bought them in April this year. So obviously they are a little bit cheaper now, but if you are looking to travel now, you do need to factor in the price of inflation and obviously demand is super high. So price tickets are going to be really expensive as well. Now, I also just wanted to thank the Singh sisters. So their page is called Life with the Singh Sisters, and they were kind enough to actually go ahead and create mine and Ravi's itinerary for our Europe trip. They reached out to me and offered to do this, and I thought that was absolutely amazing. I personally don't like organizing those kinds of things, so I'm really grateful for them for reaching out and helping me organize my itinerary for the entire Euro trip. So if you are planning a trip, not only to Europe, but if you're planning to go anywhere else in the world, if you're going on holidays, then definitely reach out to these girls. They're amazing. They definitely took out the stress for me and it was just a pleasure working with them. I'll leave all of their details down below in the description box in case you want to check out their page. So in this video, I'm going to be going through the costs for everything that I have currently paid for and projected costs, but stay tuned for the Europe vlogs because that's where I'll be telling you where exactly I stayed, the hotels, the best restaurants around as well. Additionally, just quickly before we get started, I also wanted to mention that this trip is definitely going to be expensive for us. We did buy our business class tickets with cash and we have actually splurged. I mean, we've bought decent sort of hotels as well because it is my first time traveling to Europe and I just wanted it to be something special and yeah, super excited. We have actually used Shopback, which is a cashback sort of reward system where possible, and also used Klook as well. So let's get started in today's video. Now let's start off with the flight. So the first flight that we booked was obviously in April, and this is our going to London flight and coming back to Sydney. So this is the beginning of our trip and the end of our trip. We booked a return flight and obviously we didn't have a credit card that allowed us to have bonus points. So we actually bought this outright with cash. We won't be doing this next time because we have opted in to look into business credit cards and hopefully by next year we'll have some points so we don't have to buy a business class ticket with cash up front. So the 2 business class tickets via Etihad and we are stopping over at Abu Dhabi and then going to London. So those 2 tickets together cost us $14,400 collectively. Now, let's go on to our itinerary for the rest of the trip. So we obviously land in Dubai and we obviously land in Abu Dhabi, but we plan to go straight to Dubai. Now, a Dubai hotel for 2 nights is costing us $879, which is actually pretty affordable in my opinion. It's a pretty nice hotel and I'm actually so excited to stay there. Then moving on to Abu Dhabi, we'll come back to Abu Dhabi for 1 night and our hotel at that place is costing us $348. And once we arrive at Abu Dhabi, we're actually flying over to London, which is our second leg of our business class trip or flight to London. And then we are staying in London for 5 nights. So it's 6 days, 5 nights. And the hotel that we're staying at is costing us $2,158. Expensive, yes, Yes, I know. But it was really hard to find a hotel in London, something that was decent. Ravi and I are very picky with our hotels. We needed to be something that replicates our current sort of environment. And because we are actually, you know, obviously traveling, we're on holidays, but we're also working as well. So we do take that into account, making sure that it is also possible to shoot in our hotel rooms as well. Now, moving on, initially we were planning to go to Amsterdam, but unfortunately, just given with timings, things did not really work out. And we obviously had a few more trips planned. So we were actually going to go to France as well and Amsterdam, as I just said. But we thought that our trip was very sort of go, go, go. And we didn't really want to do that because that would just be so stressful. Given the condition in Europe at the moment, I just feel that it would be very hectic, and it was just, you know, we wanted it to be a relaxing holiday as well and a working holiday. So we then decided to take out Amsterdam and France and just have a bit of a sort of flow and a bit of a relaxing holiday, if you guys know what I mean. So we decided to then go from London to Berlin. That was part of our initial plan, but given we're not going to Amsterdam anymore, we decided to extend our trip in Berlin. So our first 2 nights is costing us $406, which is pretty good. And then our second 2 nights, which is at a different hotel, is costing us $477. Then from Berlin, we are traveling to Greece, and our first stop is Athens. So in Athens, we plan to stay there for 2 nights and do a lot of sightseeing, exploring, and the 2 nights in Athens is costing us $522. Mind you, this is all in Australian dollars. Just wanted to make that clear. Then after Athens, we are headed to Mykonos, where we're staying at one hotel for 1 night, which is $641, and then we're moving over to another hotel for the next 2 nights. So the first hotel is, I believe, southeast of Mykonos, and then we're moving to the southeast. Then we're moving to the west of Mykonos. I think that's where mainly all the parties happen. So we're moving from one side of the island to the other for the last 2 nights. And this is a very expensive hotel, guys, like literally crazy. And we booked ours in April. So obviously it's just super packed, super busy, expensive. And that hotel cost us $1,734 for 2 nights, which is absolutely crazy. Then from Mykonos, after our 3 nights in Mykonos, we are then moving to Santorini, where we are staying there for 2 nights, and the cost for those hotels, or hotel rather, is $810 for 2 nights. After Santorini, we are headed to Naples, and in Naples, we're spending 4 nights in Naples. We decided to go with Naples because Positano, Amalfi Coast hotels were just so expensive, and yes, it's a bit of a trek. I think it's about an hour's drive to Positano or Amalfi Coast, but we're okay with that. I'm happy to stay in Naples and travel around Naples. I've heard it's really nice as well. So we are going to obviously go do Naples for 4 nights, also travel to Amalfi Coast and Positano as well in that time. And for 4 nights, that is costing us $1,217. After Naples, we are headed to Rome. So Rome, we are staying there for 3 nights, and that is costing us $1,800 in Rome. Very expensive, I know, but what can you do? Then we're staying in Venice for 1 night. It's 2 days, but 1 night. We decided to do 1 night because Ravi's been to Venice before and he said it wasn't really the best. So we decided to just stick to 1 day or 1 night there. And if we like it, we're always, going to come back. Like, we can come back to Europe anytime. So for Venice, it is costing us 290 Australian dollars for the 1 night. Then we are planning to go to Milan. Now, Milan, we're staying there for 2 nights, and one of the hotels is costing us $860 for 2 nights. And then We were actually planning to go to France after that, but as I said, circumstances changed. So we decided to extend our Milan trip by 2 extra days, and we decided to change our hotel and stay at a hotel that cost us $520 for 2 nights. Now, during these last 2 days in Milan, or these 2 additional days in Milan, we're planning to do Lake Como. I've heard it's really, really nice, so very excited for that. And then we are going back to London for 2 nights. And London, we are spending $720 for a hotel for 2 nights. And then we're changing to a hotel which I believe is closer to the airport, and that is costing us $405. Now, that is accommodation booked for. Now, if we were to just calculate the cost of accommodation in Europe, for us, it is costing us about $13,787. And obviously, if we add in our flights as well, altogether, that is costing us about $28,187. Okay, so now that accommodation is done, we had to then book our internal transfers, internal flights, trains, ferries, etc. So let me take you through the flight costings as well. So the flight from London to Berlin is costing us $1,451. It's so expensive, I know, and that's a price for 2 people. Then we're going from Berlin to Athens. That flight is $806. Then Athens to Mykonos is $535. And then from Mykonos to Santorini, we're actually taking a ferry, which I'm very excited about. I don't really get seasick, but Ravi is definitely going to get seasick. He's so scared. That ferry is costing us $265. And then from Santorini to Naples, we're catching a flight, and that's costing us $665. And then from Naples to Rome, our travel agent told us to catch a train because it's more convenient, and that is costing us $95. And then from Rome to Venice is also another train, and that is costing us $216. And then from Venice to Milan, another train, I believe, is $128. And then Milan to London is a flight for $451. So in terms of internal sort of transfers, it is costing us about $4,612. So our running total for the entire trip so far is $32,800. Then we have to obviously budget and account for daily food spending for the 2 of us. And as I said, we are going for about 5 weeks. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the video, but we are going for 5 weeks. It's about 36 days. Now for 36 days, I actually included 35 because one of the days is obviously when we arrive, and we obviously are going to be on a plane. So for 2 of us, spending wise, I have allocated $200 per day on food. Now, we do also need to take into account that breakfast at some of our hotels is accounted for. So this is for lunch, snacks, dinner, and drinks as well. Obviously, we're not going to be drinking every single night, but I've just put in a buffer for $200 a day for the both of us because we're on holiday. We're gonna, splurge. We're gonna have snacks. We're gonna have ice cream. It's gonna be hot, and I think it's gonna cost that much, to be honest. So for the full 35 days or 36 days, it's gonna cost us $7,000 for food. So that brings our running total to about $39,800. Then we need to consider activities. So activities like maybe, going to the museum, looking at, art displays, light shows, doing, adventurous things as well. So I've actually allocated for that about $75 per day for the both of us. And we're not going to be doing activities every single day. So I've allocated that for 30 days. And that comes to a total of $2,250. Then moving on to shopping. So we have allocated about $4,000 to $5,000 to do with shopping. Ravi's expenses are going to be obviously much lower. Max for him, I think, is $1,000, whereas for myself, I will see what is good to buy overseas. I may be doing some shopping in the duty-free area and also in Italy, in Milan as well. So I'm very excited for that. And we have allocated about $4,000, but that could be more, that could be less. So all together, that comes to a grand total of $46,049 for the entire trip. Now, this is obviously costly for about 5 weeks worth of Europe, but as mentioned, we are buying our business class tickets with cash. We are staying at decent hotels. We've allocated an adequate amount of budget because it's my first time. I want to go all out. I want to enjoy myself. And I'm not, saying that you can't enjoy yourself with a limited budget, but I don't want to restrict myself, and I just don't want to have to think about money, to be honest. And we've worked hard. Like, it's definitely been a tough couple of years, and of course, why not enjoy it? So another thing that I actually wanted to account for in this budget as well, given we are going away for 5 weeks, our rental sort of situation here as well is obviously going to cost us money as well. So if we were to factor in our rental costs as well, so as you guys all know, rent for 1 week where we currently live is $1,200. And if we were going for 5 weeks, it's about $6,000, which we do also need to pay for. So if we add that to our running total, the entire trip is going to cost us $52,000 approximately. So definitely very expensive, and we're so grateful that we were able to book in April before the price increases. We did utilize Shopback and Klook as well where possible, whereas if you're going now, obviously those prices I believe would have increased. So yeah, that is essentially how much we're looking at spending. It may be a lot, it may be a little bit, I'm not sure, but stay tuned for the vlogs because I will be doing a weekly cost of how much everything has costed us for that week, and then we can sort of align that to the budget and see how we performed. But that's everything I wanted to go through for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for future vlogs. I'm so excited. I can't wait, and I'm so excited to take you guys along with me. But that is it. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.